I'm visiting the Cove Palisades State Park in Central Oregon. The park is located at Lake Billy Chinook at the confluence of the Crooked River, the Deschutes River, and the Metolius River. There are two separate campgrounds at the Cove Palisades Park, the Crooked River Campground and the Deschutes River Campground. I'm headed to stay at the Deschutes River Campground. Over millions of years, the Crooked River, the Deschutes River, and the Metolius River each carved out steep canyons in the relatively flat landscape of Central Oregon. The three canyons then merged to form a single canyon at the site of the current Lake Billy Chinook. To get to the lake shore, you need to descend into the canyon, and in many places the road clings to the steep walls of the canyon. The Crooked River is the furthest east of the three rivers, so to get to the Deschutes River requires crossing the Crooked River. The road crosses the Crooked River on a narrow suspension bridge. I've now driven across the narrow peninsula separating the Crooked River Canyon from the Deschutes River Canyon, so I'm now in the Deschutes River Canyon and looking down to the Deschutes River on my right.
Take the next left, then you will arrive at your destination. A short distance away from the campground, there's a day-use picnic area and a boat ramp. In addition to the boat ramp and boat dock, there's a kayak launch which I use to get my inflatable kayak into the water.
Being out on the water gives a somewhat different perspective of the canyon. Ahead of me, you can see a suspension bridge. There are two suspension bridges in the Cove Palisades State Park. One is the bridge I crossed earlier over the Crooked River. The one ahead of me is over the Deschutes River and allows access to the west side of the Deschutes Canyon. Lake Billy Chinook is popular for a variety of water sports, so in addition to paddling in both kayaks and canoes, there are lots of power boats for water skiing and fishing. Many of the power boats stay further downstream in the wider, more spacious parts of the lake. Most of the power boats that travel this far up the canyon are probably here for fishing. After paddling somewhat further upstream in the Deschutes Canyon, I turned around and paddled back to the boat ramp and kayak launch. On the north side of the boat ramp, there's a trail that goes along the lake shore. The trail leads to a picnic area, which is also right along the shoreline. About 14 miles west of the Deschutes River Campground at the Cove Palisades Park, there's an interesting rock formation, the Metolius Balancing Rocks. I'm driving to the Metolius Balancing Rocks, and to get there, I need to go across the suspension bridge over the Deschutes River. It's a very narrow, single-lane bridge, so I need to wait for the bridge to be clear before I can cross. The road from the bridge on the west side of the canyon climbs quite steeply and has very tight turns on several switchbacks. This video doesn't really give a good idea of how steep the road from the bridge is. The view here, though, does show that we've risen quite far above the river, and that's occurred in a relatively short amount of space, offering some confirmation of how steep the road is.
At the time I visited the Metolius Balancing Rocks, there was no sign indicating the parking area on the roadside. Fortunately, I had the GPS coordinates to alert me to the location of the parking area. From the parking area, it's a relatively short, easy walk to see the Balancing Rocks. In the distance, you can also see the water of the Metolius River arm of Lake Billy Chinook. The Balancing Rocks are these improbable rock structures consisting of a rock cap sitting atop a tapered stone pillar. The development of these unusual structures depends upon the laying down of rock layers with much different levels of hardness. In this case, a relatively thin layer of very hard volcanic basalt was deposited over much softer layers of sandstone or volcanic ash. When this rock was broken up somewhat, and then exposed to rainwater over millions of years, the resulting erosion left a hard cap of basalt which acted like an umbrella, protecting the underlying softer stone, which then formed the tapering cylinder. I'll close this video with a view of Lake Billy Chinook with a view from the top of the east side of the Crooked River Canyon.